guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Shelby. So as you saw, I am going over the books that I've read in June. I'm filming this in early July, but it probably won't go up for a few weeks, just because I'm back to work and my schedule is different, and so you know, I'm not sure quite when I'll get this edited. But yeah, I want to go through these books with you guys, as I read quite a few books. They're in no particular order. Yeah, they're in no particular order. I just kind of grabbed them off my shelf, and yeah, let's get started. So these two are just like little pamphlet-y type books. So this one is You Don't Get Your Own Personal Jesus. Let me see how many pages it was. Yeah, it was only like 50 pages. You know, took me like half an hour to read. Yeah, it was really good. It was really informative. It got me thinking about like things that I experience in youth ministry, and stuff like that. They're not all gonna be Jesus books. But yeah, my first three are. The next one is Teaching Teenagers in a Post-Christian World. And yeah, again, this just talked about how to reach our teens, and that it's not just solely about like sharing the gospel with them. It's about like encouraging them, forming the relationship, forming the bond, and that's something that I wanted to fulfill. And yeah, something that I very much agree with, so it just confirmed things that I believe in, like discipleship. This next book is Buck Naked Faith. This book I got when I was, I must have been in 7th or 8th grade when I got this book. I was new to Christian literature, and so I think it was 7th grade. I was in a Bible study, and we decided, like 2 of my youth counselors and like 4 or 5 of us girls, they were like, let's go to one of the Christian bookstores in town, and we will decide what we want to read next as our small group book. And while we were there, I purchased a few books, and this is one of those books. I picked it up off and on, but was never really actually into it. I think I just grabbed it because I was excited because of all the books. But yeah, it just talked about how like our faith needs to be raw, our faith needs to be real, and how we look at our own individual faith instead of judging others. Yeah, so it was pretty good. It was just kind of like one of those things that I probably should have read it when I was in 7th grade, but I held off. Next is The Call of the Wild. Again, another little book. Yeah, it was a simple read. My dad actually suggested it to me and my sister multiple times, and finally I was like, you know what? I'm just going to put it on my Amazon wish list. And this book was actually gifted to me by Emily Wilmick. She's on Instagram. But yeah, this book was gifted to me. My Amazon wish list is down below if you want to give me any books. It's my birthday month, so, and put your name on there if you do. But yeah, this book was all right. It was written from a dog's point of view. The dog got like, he was in like a ritzy family, and then he got captured, and they were trying to break him, and yeah, it was interesting. It was different. I have never read a book from like an animal's point of view, so it was different. It was pretty good. Would I read it again? Probably not. Would I recommend it? Maybe. it's different. So I think I would recommend it for the sole purpose of it's different. Yeah. I don't know why, but my dad always talks about that book, and it must have been the only book that stuck out to him when he was in school. So next I have Joe and Laurie. This book it's a new release. I think it was released early June. But this book is based off of Joe and Laurie from Little Women. It's Joe's story of her writing her second book. And yeah, it was interesting. It was an interesting take on everything. I really liked it. I actually, like, the last 3 or 4 chapters, I pretty much cried through while reading it. So if you're into Little Women, even if you're not into Little Women and have just like watched the movie or kind of know what it's about, I highly recommend this. It was a really easy read. Little Women was a little, you know, the original Little Women book was a little tougher of a read. At least for me it was, but I think it was just because it was so long. I really like this one. I highly recommend it. And then next I have, let's do this one. Yeah, I'll talk about this one. So Done. This book was really good. I believe this book was also gifted to me. I don't have the piece of paper for it. But yeah, it was about 2 friends. Some issues happened. These girls are in 8th grade. And it's like some performing arts stuff, some dance stuff, some drama with one of the girls' dads, you know, boy drama. It's set in, it's called Pirates Cove. I don't fully remember where it's set, but it was good. I really liked it. I think that you should check this out. Yeah, I think that if you like middle grade or YA, this is more middle grade, but if you like YA too, you should read it. Yeah. Actually, I don't think that was gifted to me. I think that was a book outlet book that I purchased. Next I have, I'll talk about this one. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Oh. I loved this book. I don't know, I loved it. I heard so many like negative things and so much distaste and frustration and dislike, whereas I thought this book was so good. I read this book in like a weekend, and normally it takes me like, especially this thick of a book, it takes me a little while to read, a little while to like get into it. But yeah, I read this book in a weekend, and I pretty much dedicated that whole weekend to this book because it was so good. It just like talks about President Snow, his adolescence, and like becoming a young adult and what that all looks like. And I don't want to give any spoilers, but so many people don't like this book, where I love it. This is probably my favorite book of 2020 thus far. Yeah, it's just so good. I didn't even know this was coming out, honestly, and then I saw someone's review, their YouTube video review, and I was like, I have to go buy it. And I'm like, the next day, maybe even that afternoon, I went and got it, and I read it that following weekend. So highly recommend. Yeah, it just, it talks about President Snow and like his I don't know, like how rebellion hit him and like his childhood and his young adulthood, and like it just shows how he was shaped into like being the man that he became. And I don't know, I want a sequel to this. Like, Suzanne Collins, get me a sequel to this, please and thank you. That's what I want. Just saying. I would love a sequel to that, to know how exactly he became president. Now that's what I want to know. Okay, now the last book I read in June. This book was not my thing, not my jam, not at all. I just, my sister loved this book so much, and I loved the movie, and I wanted to love this book. I just could not get into it. I did finish it. I did want to DNF it, but I just could not get into it. Willow Dean was such a dry character, and she was so annoying. I just could not get into it. I just needed something more to happen, some more excitement, something. And I'm bummed because I'm gonna read, okay, that kind of, I guess, transitions into my TBR for July. I'm gonna read the companion novel, Put In, and then she's also got another one coming out. I'm not sure when it comes out. I want to say maybe early fall, end of summer, but I might be wrong. But it's another companion novel to these, and it's called Pumpkin. She just announced it, but it's been in the works for a while. She also just released another book called, I think it's called Faith. Don't quote me on that, but it's coming in. I pre-ordered it because I want to like her writing, but it's so boring in this book. And I'm bummed. My sister loved it so much that I was just hoping and praying that I would like it, but I did not. I could not get into it, which was a bummer. But my TBR, to be read for the month of July. I just grabbed 3 of them. I'm working on 3 like rollover books. Like I started them in June, and they're gonna roll over into July. And so yeah, I have 2 or 3, I believe 3 books that are gonna do that. So I just grabbed 3 books that I want to be on my TBR, and I will probably read more, and honestly I might not even read these ones. Who knows my feelings. But yeah, one of them is Put In. This one is about Millie and Cali, which were they were supporting supporting characters in Dumplin'. So I'm excited to read that, and maybe I like this one more. My sister said she liked this one more, I think. Honestly, I think she really liked Dumplin', but she did also like this one. So maybe I like this one more. I don't know. And next is What Happens When Women Walk in Faith by Lisa Turkhurst. I try and read like one. I'm trying, now that I'm into like fiction, I need to balance out my fiction and nonfiction. Whereas before I started reading fiction, I was very much into nonfiction and self-help style books. And so, yeah, this one is kind of just a like, I want to read one of these type books a month. And so I've started one, and then this will be my follow-up. But my third TBR is Ninth House. So I'm actually reading this in a book club, and I have never actually heard of this book. Also, look at how cute this is. Like, I'm not into snakes and stuff, but like, I don't know, that's just well done. But yeah, it's about this person, Alex, that is the most unlikely member of Yale's freshman class. You know, dropped out of school, blah, 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 blah. And it's like a thriller. It talks about dark magic and murder. And yeah, I'm not sure how I'll enjoy this. I don't really read like thrillers and stuff like this. So we'll see. I kind of hope I like it. I hope I get into thrillers. I kind of get freaked out by that kind of stuff, but I hope that I like this one. Yeah, so let me know what is in your TBR for the month of July. And yeah, let me know if you've read any of the books I've read or read any of my TBRs, as I'd be interested to hear what you think. So go check out some of my other book videos or my other videos in general, and see you next time. Bye.